Hey guys, I'm back. So today I'll be talking about racism in the LGBTQIA plus community, and it's one of those discussions that are a bit, touchy, but I think it's important to have them. And as I talk about them, I want you guys to remember that I'm looking at through the lens of a black gay man, and because it's I think we all have different realities. As I was saying in other videos, we all have different realities. I'm also willing to hear other people's opinions. So if any of you, if one day if you I don't get a lot of people views, but if it's like a group or a person that sees my videos and says, "Oh boy, I think he's wrong," and you just comment down. I'm gonna read it. I'm always willing to read up on to read up and listen to other people's opinions. So, um, I think this discussion that was we've been having that discussion for I think quite some time now. I think 4 or 5 years. I think I may be telling a lie. I may not know. I may be saying a bullshit. Yeah, I may be saying the wrong thing. But I think it's a discussion that's going on, right? But I think it's important to have a more in-depth kind of a discussion when we talk about racism in the LGBTQIA plus community. And I know that whenever I've been looking for racism in the LGBTQIA plus community on YouTube, for example, and again, maybe I should be looking a little bit harder and get away from YouTube and maybe go on other sites, scholarly sites maybe. So maybe that's my fault. But when we talk about racism in that community, it's always through the lens of the of dating, right? Or dating apps and how people are being rejected because of their skin tone or so yeah, so let's begin. I think for me, when I was a young kid, I had this idea that once I was gonna come out, um, everything will be good because I'll be in a community that that they'll have their arms wide open because I am gay, and I was telling myself, I think they know how it feels to be rejected, so being black and coming to that community won't be a problem. Oh, I was naive. I was really naive because I've had a few strange things happening to me in the LGBTQIA plus community. That just reminded me of how naive I was. Um, and let's begin with lack of representation, right? Not before. I'm gonna talk before I was dating before I was with my husband. When I was looking for a potential partner, I would go on dating apps, dating sites, and sometimes you would always see that do not contact me if you are black. No blacks, like no, like this big no with an exclamation mark, and then you see blacks, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, that's maybe he doesn't want to waste his time, maybe it's his preference. But then after reading up on books and just also looking at other videos, I soon realized that it can be racism when people do that. But it's a difficult. I think it's difficult because people can then hide behind the it's my preference and while being racist, right? Because we all have preferences and we can't, the heart wants what the heart wants, right? So it's I think for some of them it's easier to hide behind the preference, and so that they can do racist stuff and get away with it. Again, not everyone does that. I'm not making a blank statement. Um, so now let's talk about the lack of representation. When I was young and I was looking at movies that would talk, gay movies or lesbian movies. There were no transgender movies when I was young. Now there is many shows like Pose the list goes on, and you have people like Janet Mock, who is a black transgender woman. Um, just a lot of gay people that you can look up on the internet. And yeah, so there was lack of representation on television. So I never felt as if I was represented as a gay black man. Someone say gay black man because that's what I am, of course. But I would imagine it would be the same with, you know, a lesbian black woman, black lesbian woman, or transgender black woman. I think, or again, black transgender man, you know. So it's when you don't see this kind of representation, you tend to look everywhere and say, oh well, where are we, you know? And even when you look at movies, like most movies was always about most of the time a white gay man who is um, in a, you know, kind of well-off family, and he faces homophobia. His parents may be Christian. He is in a town where, you know, it's difficult to come out as gay. And mind you, that there's been good movies that I've seen, like Brokeback Mountain and everything. But again, there was the black people in the LGBTQIA plus community back then weren't represented, right? Now, as you know, now as we, you know, we well now you see more shows where you see black gay people, black lesbians, black transgender, black bisexuals also, and so you do have this some. It's starting, right? It's starting, and we're talking more about that. So I would say that is a plus, right? But there's still lack of representation when we talk about the history of the LGBTQIA plus community. I mean, everyone remembers the movie Stonewall. Stonewall was done by Roland Emmerich, I think, if I remember. And the main character was played by the actor of Jeremy Irvine. And it was during it was happening during when the Stonewall riot was happening. And they didn't talk about Marsha P. Johnson. They didn't talk about all the others, LGBTQI plus POCs that were important in the in Stonewall. And you know, you see that and you're like, oh, this is strange. So I think as a black LGBTQI plus people, we have to do our own research to discover, you know, other black queer people, right? And it's, you know, it's for me now it's not difficult, but you know, before when I was young it was difficult. I didn't know where to look. I didn't know, I didn't know where to look, right? So now let's talk about my experiences. So when I came out, I was so happy, and I told my brother, "Oh, Michael, that's my twin brother's name. That's my twin brother's name." So, "Oh, Michael, this is gonna be so much fun. I'm out. I'm going to show you Le Village, the village. It's in Montreal, so it's like it's called Le Village, where there's mostly where you if you're from the LGBTQIA plus community, you can go there and feel comfortable. It's supposed to be a safe haven, right? So the first time I went was by myself, and again there was lack of representation. But when at one point I said, "Oh, Mike, I'm going to show you how the village is," and I was walking, and I remember this gay white man who threw a peel of a peel of banana on the floor in front of my brother and me, and he proceeded to act like a monkey. And I remember I was like, whoa, okay. And I looked at my brother, and we were looking at each other, and we were just like, oh, well, you know, we all know that's racist, right? So then we turned around, and there was a table of, you know, there was a gay man, like a white gay man, lesbians, and they were just laughing. They were literally laughing at what they were seeing, you know? And that's when I think I came to the conclusion, well, Raphael, don't be naive. Racism will also happen in the LGBTQIA plus community. That was like my first, racist thing that happened within the LGBTQIA plus community. And I was with my brother. It was just, it was like, oh, yeah, it was just, ooh, Another time was when I was talking to this guy, and he came out. He was talking about our parents, and he said, well, I know that within he was gay, of course. That was before I met my husband, of course. So I remember he was saying, well, he wasn't date, it was a friend, of course. And he said to me, oh, is it true that, how is it in your home? Because I know in black homes people don't respect their parents. So he said that, and I was like, wait, did you read that? Who told you that? And I just listened to myself. I just said, no, I respect my parents. But then again, I was like, okay, well, that's racist, right? And that's when I started to see more and more that racism is real in the LGBTQIA plus community. And I think those kind of things that has happened to me, I'm sorry, must have happened to other people, to other black gay guys, to lesbian women, a black lesbian woman, a black transgender woman and man, and it just dawned on me that okay, it's real. It does happen in our community, right? And I think I think now we are talking about it. We are just talking about it, um, and I think we'll have to have a more in-depth conversation. And with the Black Lives Movement, and I think it's important to have this kind of discussions. So yeah, so this is my vlog. I think I went a bit everywhere, and I would want to go more in depth in that discussion at some point. I think I'm just touching the surface, if we say, if we can say that. But yeah, this is it. If you guys liked my video, remember you can like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Thank you for watching, for listening, and have a good morning, good afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and bye.